Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel. This is Carmen with Elemental Designs, and today I'm here to do somewhat of a project share. I know I don't do many project shares. I usually kind of show you guys how I get stuff done, and do like a process video, so on and so forth. But I wasn't really sure about this one, you guys, so this is my very first one, and I've created a lap book. And this is so far what it's looking like. It's not completely done. I definitely still have some other things to do, but at this point in time, my imagination when it comes to this process is a little bit stumped, and I've moved on to creating another one. So this is what it looks like so far, and this is a lap book. I I I was watching Bohemian Crafter, I think is her name. I'm gonna link her channel down below. She is super funny and amazing, and I'm new to her channel, and I've just been loving everything that I'm seeing so far, as far as all the albums that she makes and just all of these kinds of things that she makes. And for this year, my goal is, last year my goal was cards, to work more on cards and get more cards done, and learn a little bit more about the process of making cards. And for this year, my goal is to create lap books and finish an album. So this is like my goal to actually get that started. So this is what I started on the very first day of January. um, this is what I started working on. So I've been working on this for a little bit of time. I've been kind of going back and forth into it. And for those of you guys that know me, know my channel, know what I've been doing, thus far, you guys know that paper crafting and me, we have somewhat of an odd relationship, because I'm mostly into, my main passion is painting and mixed media and art journaling and anything to do with splashing and making messes when it comes to paint, water, all of that good stuff. And I do involve paper crafting in it because, I'm using collage pieces, I'm doing all of those things. So those things kind of go hand in hand, at least in my eyes, right? But I also have a little soft spot for paper crafting. I also have that desire, that want, to kind of, dive into this whole paper crafting world as well. And I've had several paper crafting projects, throughout my YouTube, history, if you will. And this is just something else that I want to add to that. And I've been enjoying it so far. But again, my imagination kind of flies away from me sometimes, so I have to kind of like put it down and like stop. So it's very simple, and I'll show you what it is. And pretty much I glued in some of this baker's twine. I think that's what you guys call it. I mean, not you guys, but I think that's what it's called. I used some of this baker's twine, and I punched 2 holes here to kind of feed it through. And then this paper right here is a scrapbook paper. This is the back of it. On the back of it, I created 2 large pockets. So these are the 2 tags that I made right here. This is what they look like in the back. That's the final thing that I have to work on, is creating more tags for this. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, because it is my very first one. I'm not even sure if this is something that anybody would like to see me do more in depth. So this is kind of why I wanted to show you guys how it went, how it turned out so far. I used Tim Holtz Distress, the Tim Holtz Distress ink, and I distressed the edges of the paper. This has flocking on it, so it's got these beautiful flowers here. So this is why I didn't want to add too much other stuff to the cover, because it already had this beautiful flocking going on in the front, and I thought that was quite sufficient. And again, this is what the back looks like, and there's more of that flocking there on the other side. And to create this, I used the entire 12 by 12 sheet, and pretty much I just wrapped it all the way until it didn't go no more, and then I wrapped the other one this way, going up this way. I glued it down the center to create the 2 pockets, and then I just cut out the little notches here to be able to pull my tags in and out. And these pockets go all the way the length of the back of this file folder. Now this is those file folders. Let me see if I find one. Yikes, I should have. Do I have one handy? Do I have one handy? No, I don't. But I do have more. So I will definitely be making some more of these. Mine were like a hunter green. They had like a hunter green color to it. Now that's what you can kind of see poking out through here. And these are the ones that you kind of hang in the cabinets that they come with. These metal, oops, there goes my shopper card. They come with these hooks. You know, you kind of hang them in the file cabinets. So that's kind of what that has. And this is what is looking like so far, and hopefully you guys will be able to see it all. So what I've done is I've taken two folders, two of the manila folders, and I've cut them down to size. I still have more to add in here, but I'm just not sure which way I'm gonna go. I used some of the same collection from the same collection of this, and it's got a lot of flocking on it, so I added that on the inside. And then my original idea was to create this based on like travels and things to do with journey, because that's pretty much the word that is back there, which I'll show you that in a minute. And then I used this is from a different paper collection. This is from a different paper pad. But pretty much what I did here is I used envelopes, and pretty much this is what I did. I kind of layered them out that way, and then you can just put whatever you want to put inside of it. I haven't created the tags, and like I said, they still needs a little bit more finishing touches. I'm still debating on what exactly I'm going to be adding to them. And then I just kind of distressed it out a little bit, and then some of the scraps that I had, I just kind of added it to the corners of these envelopes here. And this is all from the same collection. This paper here and this paper here, and how I covered this manila folder. And then again, distressed the edges. And then on the back, what I did is I created a little tuck spot here by adding a little little love jar, and I just put that there just to show that there's a little tuck spot there. And then this is like one of the little mini tags that I started working on. This is just some journaling papers. I distressed a little bit, not too much, and then I just kind of tucked that in there. Again, I still have some spots that I have to work on. Like I want to see about what I add in the back of that, because it's a little too plain for me. And that's just craft cardstock there. And then the same with this side. Then this side kind of opens up in that way. And then again, we have, we have the little envelopes. And this is another little booklet that I created. Still have yet to finish it. And it's just some kind of music papers from like an old children's book that I just kind of added in there. And that's pretty much what I have in there for right now. And this is more or less how that kind of looks. And then again, I have to fill in some of these spaces with other things, but we'll see what happens with that. And then here, what I've done is that I've added like this little flippable pocket envelope element here. And here we just have some little ephemera pieces, and then this little book that I made again in the same kind of fashion with some of those kids stories, music books type of a situation. And then I just added a little punch out here in the back, and then added a little label here. And then this was pretty much made with a Martha Stewart punch, and that's kind of how that goes. And I added a little piece of ephemera there. Kept it very simple. There's no envelope here in the back because I figured I can add a picture here or something here, and there's always room to add like pictures or other things there. I created a pocket on this one here, and again with some of those music sheets, and I've distressed them. I still have to kind of bind them together. And then this is the other side of that, what the cover was. So we have the other side of that, and I just added some washi tape on the side of that. So that's what's in here so far. And then here we just have a little flip kind of pocket here, and I added a little piece of a tag there, which creates like a little tuck spot, so if you want to add something there. And again, I did the same thing on this side. I forgot to mention it's got the pocket, it's got some of those journaling papers. I added a stamped image that I received. This is another little tuck spot there with a little tag, and I added the little string to that one, the little baker's twine. So here we just have some little makeshift tags. Here's another little book little journaling book. This one I left the paper kind of white. I just kind of distressed the front one since it's what's peeking through the flowers. And I just added a whole bunch of different Tim Holtz type stamps. And I added a little belly bands, and that's how I slid the paper in. So you can always replace the paper here. Did I glue it down? I don't think I glued it down, but let's see. Now here we go. So you can take the papers out if you need to, if you want to replace the paper. So that was my idea behind that. Like, you can use this, and then if anything, flip it over and then use the other side, or just take the paper out completely and do it a different way. But that's kind of how I did that, and tuck that belly band, you know, in between those layers there. So that's kind of how I did this little book here. And again, a little pocket to just add anything that you want to add to that. And then here in the back, I just added some images, and I added a little piece there. And following the theme with the envelopes, because this is all about envelopes, this one. In the back, I did some spraying and some distressing. I really don't like how this overall came out, so I might be changing this up a little bit by decoupaging some different kind of paper, because I think it throws the whole color scheme out. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. I was just playing around with some, you know, little makeshift alcohol sprays that I made. So again, with the theme, this envelope, I put it, you know, this way, so it opens up that way. And then the rest of these have just like little things. Like, this is one of the tags that I made, and it's got a little tuck spot there, a little tuck spot there, and it's also got a little tuck spot in the back of it. So that's kind of how that kind of goes. So still working on it, you guys. I'm just trying to use up my little bits and pieces. I have a little tag here, and then let me put that in all the way. And then it all flips up that way. And here I have another, oops. I have a little booklet that I made, and I punched 2 holes in the top, added some baker's twine, and we have a little journaling area. And that's kind of how this looks. And I have that tucked in there, another little tag, and then this flips up, and I have some ephemera pieces tucked in this little envelope here. And that's kind of how that kind of goes. So this is all about the pockets. The pockets and the tuck spots, you guys. That's what this is all about. And then this is kind of how I kind of close it. So it kind of all goes one over the other. And then these are the last 2 that I added here. And let me get a little card here. So this right here is a little tuck spot, so you can add any little thing that you want in here. And I did some stamping and some distressing, and I added 2 labels to the top of those envelopes. And then this is the inside of that, because I added a lot of birds and butterflies. Most of you guys know I love birds, I love butterflies. Anything to do with wings, I really like. So I added one of those images here. I distressed it somewhat. And then on the inside, I added this beautiful image here. And I matted that as well. And I added another beautiful image here. And I matted that as well. So it's a work in progress. Hopefully at one point I'll have it completely done, and at that time I'll come and revisit it with you guys and show you. Right now I'm working on a different one, and I would show you, but it's a hot mess. I literally just started it, so I'm still working on that whole process, and then it just pretty much closes like this. And I just tuck in my little string and tuck in the other one. Put that envelope back, and then just kind of pull it closed and tie it up. So this is definitely, it's kind of like a photo album in my opinion, at least how I have it set up, because I have so many pockets that you can definitely just mat a whole bunch of, you know, older pictures, you know, vintage pictures, whatever the case may be, and just use all of those, because I have so many envelopes in this one. and then you have pockets in the back to even add more. So like I added a lot of pockets, a lot of envelopes, and I'm really liking how this is going, like how this style is. So tell me what you guys think. Is this something that you guys would like to see a process video for? Would you like me to like show you different bits of it as I go along, and just share with you different parts of what I'm working on as I go along? Because again, this is not necessarily my niche, but I am going to be working on these throughout the year. So I wasn't sure what you guys would think about that. But definitely give me your feedback. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, then please do so, because this is the zany world of elemental designs, and pretty much I do a little bit of everything from what I can see so far. Every time something new excites me, I'm all for it and I'm all in it. So thank you all so much for watching, and on to the next one. Goodbye.